Hello, everybody. My name's Marcus, and even though I was thrown out when I was a baby, eventually I became a millionaire. You see, my life started at the lowest point possible. Shortly after giving birth, my mother abandoned me, left me in a dumpster. My life could have ended then and there, but the universe had other plans for me. Big ones. I was crying there, all alone in the cold, when good people found me. After only 2 days, I was adopted. I always remember this story, as I feel like I got a second chance in life. From a young age, I was interested in inventing all these different things. I remember when I was 9, my father brought home this old computer. I'd never seen anything like it. It wasn't working, and it looked enormous, but I made it my goal to fix it. I sat in my room for hours, trying different things that I've read in books, and I finally did it. It was up and running. Soon after, all my neighborhood knew that I had a talent for technology, so they kept calling me whenever they had a problem. My amazing and encouraging dad even printed an ad in the local newspaper. It said, "Call Marcus. One number, all kinds of fixing." It had my picture with a tiny suit on, and it was cringy as hell, but I still felt like a proper businessman. It was the start of my career. But after only a month, my family started tearing apart. My father started acting strange. It was the little things at first. He'd doze off in the middle of the conversation like he had something else on his mind. But it started getting worse. He started disappearing in the middle of the day, leaving his phone at home. He'd come back in the middle of the night and wouldn't be able to explain himself. I couldn't believe that this amazing, caring man that took care of me could be so secretive. What could he be hiding? My mom was getting crazy. I heard her even shouting that she will divorce him if he won't tell her the truth. I was getting worried. So one time, after school, I decided to follow him and see where he's going. He took a bag and told me that he's going to the supermarket, and I left a minute after. He seemed to be going there, but then he met an old colleague at a bus stop. They talked for a couple minutes and then he just jumped on the bus. I ran towards it and jumped in at the last minute. He was standing alone. I was trying to hide in the back of the bus. After like half an hour, the bus reached the final destination and stopped. The driver asked for all the passengers to leave. It was in the middle of nowhere. There was a forest nearby and a couple of houses, but that's it. He sat down on the bench, clenched the shopping bag in his hands, and started crying. I kept thinking, what's happening? Why is he here? I couldn't wait any longer. I walked up to him, sat down, and he raised his eyes to me. They looked lost. "Why are you here, Dad?" I asked. He looked ashamed. What could be so horrible that he wouldn't want to tell me? Finally, after a moment of silence, he said, "I don't know." We came back and told Mom. My parents went to see a doctor, and I was waiting anxiously at home. They came back with a very scary diagnosis. He has Alzheimer's. His memory began to fail, and it worsened day by day. It was crushing to see him struggle with the most simple tasks. He'd forget to put on some pants and would walk around the yard in only his underwear. He'd keep disappearing. I hated feeling helpless, so I decided that I'll do something about it. I stayed in my room for most of the week and brainstormed all the possible things I could do to help him when this amazing idea came to mind. This little thing not only saved my family, but turned me into a self-made millionaire at 15. I created a device to insert into my dad's shoes that would track his GPS. I could simply pick up the phone and say, "Hey Dad, where you at?" He would lean into his shoe, and as soon as he answered me, the device would send me the location. It worked perfectly. People were asking me to make it for their parents and grandparents, and one of those days, I got an amazing call that no 15-year-old ever expects. This company out of Kansas heard about my invention and suggested buying it for $2.2 million. At first, I thought it was a scam, but my parents and I arranged a meeting with them. And here I was, a 15-year-old country boy born in a dumpster, now a successful millionaire. At first, I had no idea what to do with the money. I wasn't that interested in luxury, but I really liked innovation and helping people, so I used my money to start my own company. We created an amazing anti-texting and driving software. A cell phone with a built-in wireless blood glucose meter for people with diabetes. My company's now worth $62 million. But for me, it was never about the money. I believe in turning caring into action. I remember that fear I felt when I didn't know where my dad was, and the relief when our lives got better. That's what I want for others. I hope my story can inspire others. I was left in a dumpster. My mom nearly divorced my father. My father was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. But all of it just inspired me to make our lives better. Make yours better, too.